I have a Hayward heatpro pool heater. Everything has been working fine, however, I just tried turning on and it keeps tripping the circuit breaker.
Hello, my name is XXXXXX I will assist you today. Have you taken the cover off for the electrical components of the unit are visible?
I have not yet. Would you like me to?
This could be anything from just a short in the wire, bad capacitor, or even a bad compressor. Yes, please, if you are comfortable doing that.
Okay, I will take the cover off.
Let's do a visual check inside the unit.
Okay, the cover is off. What should I look at?
You should be able to see a capacitor. I will post a picture. Please don't touch anything as I am not sure power to unit is off. Full size image. Full size image. Pictures aren't working. It will be a silver canister about 2.5 inch diameter and will have wires bound to it.
Everything appears to look okay with the capacitor.
No swelling or bulging, no burned wires?
No.
Do you happen to have a volt/ohm meter?
I do not.
Okay. The capacitor could still be bad even though it looks good. However, it could also be the compressor. Do you see any oil in the bottom of the unit?
I will look. No oil or any visual signs of damage.
Great. Is there a disconnect by the unit that you can turn off to be sure 220 volt is not to unit? We want to be sure no 220 volt to unit before we proceed.
I already turned off the breaker.
We are sure this is correct breaker? I don't want you to get shocked.
Yes. I turned off the main panel.
Okay. You will see a contactor in the unit. It will have the 220 volt power to the unit from your breaker. I would like to remove these two wires. Leave them hanging out in the open, not touching anything or each other. Full size image. Right-click on the image and select Open in New Window to see contactor. You may need a screwdriver to remove these wires.
Okay. I disconnected the wires.
Now let's turn all power on and see if that breaker trips. Do not touch these wires with breakers on.
Okay, so just so I am doing right, you mean have the two black wires disconnected, not touching each other, but just sticking out and then turn the breaker back on.
I am surprised they are both black, usually a black and white. Were they going to L1 and L2 on the contactor?
Let me go double check. Coming from the breaker, there are two thick black wires and one green wire. The two black wires were connected to L1 and L2. There is another L1 L2 connector that goes to the timer and is also connected to the FPL load control. Right now, I just have the two large black wires disconnected.
That should be fine. Let's turn all power back on and see if breaker trips.
Breaker did not trip.
Okay, you can turn power to unit back off and we can reconnect those wires. Were the breakers tripping instantly?
Okay. Anything else I can check? Yes. As soon as I turned the heater on, it would trip the breaker. It always has power to the control board, but when I pushed either the spa or pool button to turn the heat on, the brake trips.
Okay, here is what we know. The problem is not in the wire to the unit, the problem is in the unit. The capacitor could be bad even though it looks good. The compressor could be shorted or grounded. You also may have a crankcase heater on the compressor that keeps the oil in the compressor warm in cooler months. It could be bad. There really is not much more we can do without a volt/ohm meter, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, thanks for your help.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.